this video, we're going to talk about something called the F pattern. Now, the F pattern is what we see when people are reading things online. And what's happening a lot of times, as you probably yourself do, is when you read something, you're not really reading it top to bottom, but you tend to scan it. And as you're scanning through these different blog posts or these different pages online, this actually builds what we call an F pattern. So you can see here's a heat map of where people have scanned. They've sort of hooked people up to different measurement systems that track where their eyes go. And you can see this general F that's built there, right? So first, people tend to go along the headline, and then they sort of scan down, and they might pick up certain elements like images or subheadlines, things like that. And they kind of bring in scan, then they come back and go down, and they go across, and it generates this little F pattern. So what does this F pattern tell you? Number one, something you probably already knew, most readers do not read long blocks of text. So you absolutely have to break those up. And number two is it takes just seconds to decide whether or not they like your content. That's how they're doing it. So how do you use the F pattern to your advantage? Well, the really easy way here is making sure that at the very, very top part, you've got exactly what the customer is looking for. So if it's a contact information page, like a contact us or an about us page, make sure it specifically addresses that. Here's how to contact us, or here's about what we do, something like that. If it's a sales page, make sure it's got a strong, relevant headline. And if it's something that's a cold traffic page, meaning maybe it's something that you're doing advertising for and they're coming directly to that page, make sure it's something that relates to whatever it is that they just clicked on that brought them there. So if it's a display ad that says claim your 10% discount as your call to action, make sure that headline, make sure that very, very top portion says something about that 10% discount, because otherwise it won't really feel relevant to the reader and or the user, and they'll end up leaving. Okay, so let's talk about the subheadlines. So this is the little shorter areas, right? So you've got your top part that makes the F, and then you've got those little middle lines as they go down. So this is where you put in supporting text, use lots of bullets, use images, and strong subheadlines. So this is the part, again, where people are going through and they're scanning. So every time they scan and they go across, that's your opportunity to re-engage them with your copy. So if you just have a big giant wall of text, you won't see the F pattern happen. It'll just sort of be as blotch, and no one's really going to be paying attention to much because they don't really know what to pull out. But when you do an F pattern using lots of bullets, images maybe, or strong subheadlines to break up that copy, you will actually see people stop and re-engage at that particular point. So it gives you a chance again to bring them back into the conversation. Now the vertical length, again, you've got all these little bullet points. So this is just an example of how to draw it back down. But again, using this is basically the same lesson. It's using bullets, it's using numbers, it's using anything that you can do to actually draw attention to the important content that you want highlighted. And if it's a sales copy page, then that would be things like benefits or things that build value. And if it's a blog post, maybe it's things that you want them to take action on or call to action, maybe just a restatement of how you want them to actually go through and use your tips or whatever it is that you're sharing. Now, final note, when it comes to the F pattern, remember, it's absolutely common that people will use this F pattern. However, always, always, always split test. So if it's a sales page, don't just take our word for it. Don't just make these changes and blindly mark it. You want to make sure you always split test. So take your current control, turn it into something using maybe the F pattern as a rule, and then break it up so that it can be utilized a little bit better for those individuals, and then split test it and see which one wins. That's ultimately what will tell you the right thing to do. For more information, just jump over to seriouslysimplemarketing.com. Lots of fun stuff there. You can engage with us in the comments. We'll get you answers to whatever questions you've got around digital marketing. We look forward to seeing you there, and we will see you on the next video.